Welcome back to your favorite channel, the channel that goes deeper and uncovers stories the main show doesn't want you to see. For nearly 2 decades, we've followed the Roloff family on television, debating and analyzing Jeremy, Zach, Molly, Jacob, the farm, the divorce, and even Caryn. But now a new revelation is emerging, one so explosive it could rewrite the history of Little People, Big World. According to exclusive insider reports and leaked court documents set to surface in October 2025, the Roloff family tree is missing a major branch. A woman named Sarah Jenkins, 45, claims to be Matt Roloff's firstborn daughter. She reportedly has the paperwork, DNA results, and certified documents to prove it. For years, the picture-perfect image of the Roloff family was built on silence, and that silence is finally breaking. Each new piece of evidence shakes the foundation of Roloff Farms. Before we dive into the DNA proof, make sure you like and subscribe to Motion 24. We're the only channel digging deep into stories the network avoids. For over 25 seasons, the Roloff brand has been known for family values, overcoming adversity, and life on a farm in Oregon. We've watched Matt and Amy raise 4 children, navigate health challenges, dwarfism, and a painful divorce. But what if the central conflict of Matt's life wasn't the farm or his health, but a secret he's been hiding since the early 1980s? Reports suggest a civil suit is being prepared that identifies Sarah Jenkins, a nurse, as Matt's biological daughter. This isn't a fan theory or tabloid rumor. The documents allegedly include a birth certificate from the early 1980s, listing Matt as the father and a court-admissible DNA test showing a 99.9% probability of paternity. The timeline suggests this relationship occurred before Matt met Amy, so technically it wasn't an affair during the marriage. But the scandal isn't the conception, it's the cover-up. The story implies Matt knew about Sarah for 40 years, but allegedly kept her mother silent with off-the-books financial support instead of acknowledging Sarah publicly. This changes everything we thought we knew about Matt as a father. Sarah Jenkins, the woman at the center of this story, reportedly has no interest in reality TV fame. She works as a healthcare professional and wants justice and recognition, not a spin-off series. Sources say her decision to come forward was influenced by the completion of the Roloff Farms estate plans and Matt's handling of the land sale. Matt's public denial of Jeremy and Zach's inheritance requests has traditionally been seen as financial or control-driven. But this new revelation suggests his fear of exposing Sarah may have been a major factor. In Oregon, where inheritance laws protect omitted children, Sarah could legally claim part of the estate if she proves paternity. Matt may have avoided giving the farm to his sons to prevent a legal dispute that would reveal Sarah's existence. A birth certificate is just one part of the proof. Amy Roloff is at the center of the most tragic part of the story. Fans sympathized with her over the divorce and issues with Caryn Chandler, but fresh information suggests she may have been a target of a much longer deception. According to reports, Chris Merrick discovered a box of intimate letters from the early years of Matt and Amy's marriage while helping Amy clear out a storage unit. Some letters mentioned a rumor about a child from Matt's past. In one tear-stained letter, Amy described confronting Matt about the rumors, only to be gaslight into believing it was false. Chris reportedly duplicated this letter and shared it with Sarah's legal team. This document proves that Matt knowingly lied to Amy about his daughter for decades. With this revelation, Sarah moves from being a shocking discovery to a hidden victim. Fans' perception of the early seasons of Little People, Big World is now changed. Every scene, confessional, and family moment carries a new weight when we know a child was purposefully kept out of the picture. Legal consequences are becoming more serious than expected. Initially, Sarah's attorneys approached Matt's team privately to seek recognition and a settlement. Sources say Matt denied the accusation, consistent with his public image, claiming under oath that he had no children other than the 4 shown on the show. This story reshapes everything we thought we knew about the Roloffs, the farm, the family, and the secrets that have been hidden for decades. A disastrous mistake was made. Reports say that the referral to the district attorney was triggered after Matt denied under oath having another child, even though the DNA test and birth certificate had already been verified. Now, A criminal inquiry into perjury has joined the civil lawsuit seeking monetary damages. Part of why the show was so successful was because of the story of a good family. The Roloffs' combination of groundedness, faithfulness, and honesty built the foundation of TLC's empire. The show's premise was carefully constructed, and if this story is proven in court, it raises questions about whether the producers were complicit or if Matt simply managed to fool them. Sarah Jenkins isn't following the usual rules of reality TV. She has no plans to reveal this on a season finale. Instead, documents will become public through the court process. Let's look at the DNA evidence. It is reportedly conclusive. A 99.9% match is considered definitive for paternity. There is no room for debate. But there is also a deeper emotional layer. Sarah is 45 and spent her life receiving the minimum support to remain quiet while her father became a global star, built a mansion, and showered attention on his other children. The psychological cost has been immense. This new information also sheds light on why Matt and Amy were so tense during their divorce. Amy often referenced Matt's domineering personality and manipulation. When she spoke about property or Caryn, we assumed it was about those issues. Evidently, she may have carried the weight of unspoken truths her entire life. Amy may never forgive Matt if she learns her instincts from the 1980s were correct and he lied about the child. How about the rest of the Roloff kids? Jacob, Molly, Zach, and Jeremy have always seen themselves as a quartet, each with unique dynamics. How will they react to the existence of an older sister? According to sources, the siblings were unaware of the rumors. Zach, known for openly criticizing his father's actions on the farm, reportedly feels a painful validation. Matt treated his sons in ways consistent with how he had hidden Sarah for 40 years. October 2025 is critical. It aligns with the end of the current production cycle. Rumors say TLC is rushing filming. Were they aware? If so, the network could be complicit. Matt, the biggest star, is about to be revealed as someone different from the public image. Despite heightened security and confidentiality agreements, leaks are emerging everywhere. Matt's reputation as the patriarch of the farm is rapidly declining. There are also financial consequences. If Matt misled or concealed assets, the settlement Sarah's mother agreed to decades ago could be nullified because it was based on Matt's finances at that time. Inheritance is even more critical. Matt has a massive fortune. Leaving a child out of a will may not be enough legally. Disinheriting requires explicit action. If Sarah is not named in the current will, she could claim a portion of the Roloff fortune, including the farm, show earnings, and residuals. As this unfolds, Matt's persona changes. He appears less as the goal-oriented farmer we knew and more as a man capable of grinning for millions of viewers while knowing he left a child behind. Every family gathering, every scene on the show, now takes on new meaning. Was he projecting guilt onto Jeremy when lecturing him about responsibility? Was his focus on hidden payments during arguments with Amy about money? Chris Moore's role is crucial. He has been Amy's support through this ordeal. By leaking a private letter to Sarah's legal team, he acted against Matt, seeing him as both a moral and personal threat. Chris uncovered the truth rather than compromise, setting the stage for a domestic conflict-turned-media firestorm. Reports now describe the chaos after the perjury referral became known. The family fell apart as attorneys fought in court. A covered audio recording of a meeting between Matt and Sarah 3 months ago has surfaced. They met at a roadside diner before the news went public. Matt allegedly did not know Sarah was secretly recording for her protection. The audio is shocking. Matt does not sound like the caring figure on TLC. He speaks like a cold, pragmatic CEO. When Sarah asked why he never reached out, he replied, "I had a plan." All 3 parts of the farm, the show, the family formed a fragile ecosystem. Amy would have left 20 years ago. The network would have spun it, and all I had worked for would have crumbled if I had invited you in. I acted to protect the empire. He remained silent about fear and shame, claiming he was defending his life's work. To him, a firstborn daughter was an unknown variable that could disrupt everything. Sarah confronted him, crying, saying she didn't want money. She just wanted a father. Matt responded, according to the tape, that he had sent checks to her mother and warned her she was endangering the project. He said, "I am not a parent. I am a producer." The recording confirms that Matt sees relationships transactionally. It validates Amy's worst fears and the children's long-suppressed complaints. For Matt, the show was more about production than real life. This revelation threatens to end Matt Roloff's public career the moment the audio is played in court. Caryn Chandler is now also under scrutiny. Questions arise. When did she know? What did she know? If she helped Matt hide payments to Sarah's mother or conceal assets from Amy during the divorce, she could face legal consequences. Reports say she is consulting her own legal team. If she testifies against Matt, he could be left alone, risking not just his reputation but his freedom. Roloff Farms' future is uncertain as the judicial showdown approaches in late October 2025. The grand mansion Matt built rests on shaky ground. He may be forced to sell assets to settle Sarah's claims. Ironically, the court could order the auction of the farm he refused to sell to his sons, with proceeds going to the daughter he denied existed. The castle, once a symbol of dreams, now stands empty. What began as an internet rumor has become a family tragedy, with a verdict set to end the Roloff legacy. The aftermath of these revelations has been profound. Friends and neighbors of the Roloffs reportedly noticed a sudden shift in family dynamics long before the story broke publicly. While fans saw only the surface, the smiling photos, the pumpkin patch, the family gatherings, the reality behind closed doors has always been more complicated. For decades, Matt allegedly maintained a careful balance, projecting a wholesome fatherly image on camera while quietly keeping a part of his past hidden. Sarah Jenkins' emergence changes how we view every decision Matt made. Many of his choices, once considered strict or controlling, can now be reinterpreted. Was his intense focus on the farm and the children on camera a way to compensate for the daughter he neglected? Did his arguments over money, property, and inheritance conceal the fear of discovery? According to sources, even minor decisions regarding farm management or show production were influenced by the weight of the secret. The emotional stakes are also enormous. For Sarah, decades of knowing she was hidden away have left a lasting psychological impact. Her experience, watching her father rise to fame, seeing her half-siblings celebrated, and never being acknowledged, speaks to a form of emotional exclusion that is difficult to quantify. Meanwhile, Amy, who carried suspicions for years, reportedly feels vindicated but deeply betrayed. For her, the revelation isn't just about Sarah, it's about the betrayal she experienced from the man she married and trusted completely. The other Roloff children are reportedly processing shock, confusion, and a mix of emotions ranging from anger to curiosity. Jacob and Molly, often seen as peacemakers within the family, face a new challenge, reconciling the image of their father as a provider and role model with the actions alleged against him. Jeremy and Zach, who have long voiced frustrations about their father's decisions, may see Sarah's story as a confirmation of patterns they suspected but could never fully articulate. This changes sibling dynamics dramatically. The group is no longer a quartet, they are now a quintet, with an older sister whose life was shaped by being intentionally excluded. TLC and the production team also find themselves under intense scrutiny. Rumors suggest executives may have known more than they disclosed, or at least missed opportunities to question inconsistencies. The ethical questions are profound. Were producers complicit in perpetuating an image of perfection while ignoring red flags? Or were they genuinely deceived by Matt's ability to maintain appearances? Either way, the network faces a reputational crisis. Leaks and rumors now circulate faster than production can respond, forcing confidentiality agreements and internal investigations. The legal implications are enormous. Beyond civil claims for monetary damages, the perjury investigation opens the door to potential criminal consequences. If the court finds that Matt intentionally lied under oath, he could face penalties that extend far beyond financial settlements. The inheritance issue adds another layer. In Oregon, inheritance laws protect omitted children, meaning that Sarah's legal team could challenge past estate planning decisions. If successful, she might be entitled to a significant portion of the roll-off fortune, including property, show revenue, and residual earnings, a fortune that, until now, was presumed to belong entirely to Matt and his on-camera family. Financial motives intersect with emotional ones. The settlement arranged decades ago to keep Sarah quiet may no longer hold if it can be proven that Matt misrepresented his wealth or concealed assets at the time. This could trigger a recalculation of damages, potentially costing millions. For Matt, the empire he spent years building, his farm, his brand, his public persona, is now at risk of unraveling. What he once considered a carefully maintained legacy now faces the possibility of being dismantled through legal action. The recently surfaced diner recording adds another chilling layer. Matt's tone, cold and calculated, illustrates how he viewed relationships as transactions rather than connections. To him, acknowledging Sarah would have disrupted the fragile ecosystem he had created: the family, the farm, and the show. His justification, framed as protecting the empire, now exposes him to moral and legal criticism. In the audio, he prioritizes property and reputation over human connection, reinforcing the perception that he was willing to let decades pass without forming a relationship with his firstborn. Sarah's courage in confronting Matt, recording the interaction for her own protection, reflects a long struggle for recognition. Her insistence that she did not want money but a father highlights the deeply personal nature of this conflict. It is not financial gain that motivates her. It is acknowledgement, validation, and justice. The recording effectively dismantles any claim Matt might make that he was unaware or acting in ignorance. It is a direct challenge to his narrative and a central piece of evidence for both civil and criminal proceedings. Caryn Chandler's potential involvement complicates the story further. As Matt's former farm manager, she may have been in a position to facilitate hidden payments or help maintain the secrecy around Sarah's existence. Legal experts suggest that if she assisted in concealing financial transactions or falsifying records, she could face charges alongside Matt. Her consultation with separate legal counsel indicates the severity of the situation. If she testifies against him, Matt's position becomes increasingly precarious. The broader implications for the roll-off brand are significant. Public perception, once built on family values and wholesome storytelling, is now under attack. Viewers who once saw the roll-offs as relatable and aspirational must now grapple with allegations of deception and long-term secrecy. Every scene, every family event broadcast on TLC is subject to reinterpretation. The idyllic image of the farm, pumpkin patches, and family projects is now overshadowed by questions of integrity and trust. As October 2025 approaches, the judicial showdown looms. Court proceedings may determine not just financial settlements, but the fate of the roll-off legacy. Matt may be forced to liquidate assets to resolve claims, and the iconic mansion he built could be sold to satisfy legal obligations. Ironically, the farm he refused to sell to his sons could end up being sold to fund compensation for the daughter he denied existed. What once symbolized ambition and success now stands as a reminder of long-hidden truths. The story of Sarah Jenkins is a reminder of the human cost of secrecy. While the roll-offs were celebrated on screen for their unity and perseverance, real lives were affected by decades of concealment. Her emergence forces a re-examination of the family's history, the motives behind decisions, and the ethical responsibilities of public figures. It highlights the consequences of placing reputation above relationships and the toll that hidden truths can take on everyone involved. Ultimately, this is a story about accountability. It is about how one person's silence and another's secrecy can ripple across generations. It challenges the narrative of perfection that was carefully curated on television and demands that all parties, from Matt to the producers, confront the consequences. The court's verdict will not only determine financial and legal outcomes, but also shape the way the public remembers the roll-offs. As the legal process unfolds, the world watches closely. Every piece of evidence, from DNA tests to letters and audio recordings, contributes to a narrative that is far more complex than anything shown on TV. It is a story of deception, courage, and the pursuit of justice. The once celebrated Roloff family is now at the center of a legal and ethical storm, and their legacy is under scrutiny as never before. For fans, for critics, and for observers, the message is clear. Reality TV only shows what is curated, but the truth has a way of surfacing. Sarah Jenkins has forced that truth into the open, challenging decades of assumptions and changing the way the world views one of the most famous families in reality television. The final chapters of this saga are still being written. Court dates, depositions, and revelations will continue to unfold in real time. But one thing is certain, the story of the Roloffs, as seen on screen, will never be the same again. What began as a secret hidden for decades has transformed into a defining moment, one that will shape family dynamics, public perception, and legal precedent for years to come. As the court dates approached in late October 2025, tension within the Roloff